I'm gonna do a hot take here and say that I think he's gonna be the leader of the franchise for this next upcoming decade, and I think it's a pretty valid take if you think about it. With the NBA Finals commencing this week, the 2019-20 season will be coming to an end after almost a full calendar year. Yes, that's right. Remember that the season originally started on October 22nd, 2019, which means as of the recording of this video, this season has been 345 days long. Man, how time flies. So, it's about that time for fans, players, media, league officials, and owners to start looking ahead towards next season. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver already stated that the 2020-21 season most likely won't start this year. This was after the league was forced to push back the draft from right after the end of the finals in mid-October to mid-November instead. Although this is the right move, I must admit that I'm a little disappointed that they didn't capitalize on trying to start the season on a holiday such as Christmas Day like they did for the lockout, because it seemed as if the original start date was tentatively scheduled for early December. But now it sounds like the NBA isn't even considering starting on New Year's Day, which is another holiday I thought they would want to start the season on since it's so close to Christmas. But regardless of any of that, the point is that once the finals are over, we shouldn't expect any meaningful professional basketball games in the United States for the rest of 2020, which is only a couple of months. So my fellow basketball junkies, chill out, relax, maybe take in some football and baseball. There's other sports to enjoy besides the one that involves a large orange spherical object on a hard surface. So why am I bringing this up now? The finals are still going on when this video will be uploaded, so why worry about it now rather than later? Well, that's my point. The NBA should worry about it now because it is the finals. And as of now, we still have no idea as to what the plan is for next season. That should concern you as a fan, because I don't know about you guys, but I have a bad feeling the NBA is going to do exactly what college football, the MLB, and NFL are doing right now. Starting the season with little to no fans and maybe transition to a bubble for the playoffs. In fact, Adam Silver basically confirmed it himself during his press conference on Wednesday before Game 1 of the finals. Quote, "Based on everything I've read, there's almost no chance there will be a vaccine, at least as widely distributed before we start the next season. I do not see the development of a vaccine as a prerequisite. My sense is that with rapid testing, it may not be that we'll have 19,000 people in the building, we'll see, but that with appropriate protocols in terms of distancing and with advanced testing, you will be able to bring fans back into arenas." And I'm telling you guys right now, that's the complete wrong way to go about it. And here's why. Number one, the bubble works. The NBA is literal proof of that. Have you guys noticed that there haven't been any reports of players testing positive for coronavirus since early August? That's because when you put everyone in the same place and they're not allowed to leave for up to 3.5 months, there's no need to worry about them interacting with the outside world and possibly contracting a deadly disease. Which leads to my next point. The NBA can't afford to make the same mistakes the MLB and NFL made. The NBA and NHL had the misfortunes of being actively in season when the pandemic started in mid-March. Because of that, both leagues lost millions upon millions of dollars and will be unable to make that money back until the pandemic is officially over and fans be allowed back into sports arenas at full capacity. So for the NBA, their primary source of revenue is going to come from TV ratings, which are severely, and I mean severely low. You guys gotta look at the ratings for the finals, especially from Game 1. Game 1 was terrible. Anyway, merchandise sales such as jerseys and sponsorships such as company ads and whatnot. So, they need to make sure that not only is every game played and start on time, but they can't afford to postpone games like college football, baseball, and football have been forced to do. It's been especially bad for college football and baseball because some teams had to cancel or postpone up to 2 weeks worth of games. Like, I'm not really a big college football guy, I don't really follow it that well, but I know that there are some teams, like I think the notable one was Baylor, Baylor University, they had to cancel their first 2 games of the season. And I know, like, for baseball instead, baseball as well, you had the Marlins, the Phillies, the Cardinals, even my New York Mets. Let's go Mets, who missed a bunch of games early on and had to make them up with a bunch of doubleheaders in the latter half of their schedules. And now in baseball, they're doing this wild card series thing where the higher seed hosts all 3 games. Baseball's lucky that fans won't be a factor until the championship series and the World Series. But again, that's a whole nother can of worms that I'm not going to get into. And even the NFL, who didn't have any players or coaches contract the virus for the first 3 weeks of the season, just had their first outbreak this week and had to postpone the Titans-Steelers game. But the difference between the NBA and those other sports is that the latter can afford to postpone games since they weren't actively in season when the pandemic started and didn't lose as much money as the former did. So if the NBA does decide to play a normal season, they better pray that games don't get postponed, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And finally, and I know I'm going to sound crazy when saying this, but the presidential debates. And before you call out this video and be like, oh my god, here we go with all the politics and yada yada yada, please just hear me out, alright? We're almost done with this video. Just hear me out, alright? I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a political person, alright? Because I'm not. I'm not here for political takes, alright? I'm a sports journalist. That's all I'm about. I'm a basketball guy. I like basketball. Yeah. But for those who somehow sat through the entire thing like I did with my parents, it was on Tuesday, right? Yeah, it was on Tuesday. One thing that was said was very worrying to me. Okay. So I don't know how many people actually pay attention to the coronavirus stats on a daily basis, like especially like in their area or wherever they live. But I don't know. Like, I don't check because it's way too depressing and to look at every day, and I have other stuff going on. So for a person like me who wasn't checking how many cases are in my area every waking hour of the day, the fact that you have Donald Trump saying the vaccine were ready in November or December, and Joe Biden saying that it won't be ready until early or the middle of next year. See where I'm going? That really worries me. Because as much as they hate each other, you know, and all that stuff, in my opinion, they should be on the same page, excuse me, regarding when the vaccine should be ready, you know? I don't know about you guys, but that's just my opinion. But regardless, let's say the vaccine is ready sometime before the end of this year, right? You still need to mass distribute it around the world, and that could take months and maybe even up to a year. We don't know. Like, here, I'll give you guys a really good example, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about this already. But have you guys heard or seen the movie Contagion? The one that everyone's talking about that is similar to our real world situation right now. I watched it back in April, like when I came back from school. It's actually a really good movie. I highly recommend it. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the vaccine, like at the end of the movie, it took around 3 to 5 months to distribute around the entire world. So if we apply that same logic to the real world, so today, then the coronavirus vaccine wouldn't be completely distributed until maybe March of next year, if we're being lucky. And again, Adam Silver, he basically confirmed himself during the press conference with the quote that I read earlier. So if the commissioner of a professional sports organization, and not only that, but the most popular professional sports organization in the world, arguably, then unfortunately, I think I have no choice but to take his word for it, because obviously he would be in the know more than average Joe like me. So yeah, as you can see, there's crazy factors out there that the NBA has to account for when deciding what to do for next season. But they have a great opportunity to build on their original plan of a bubble, which worked, and learn from other sports mistakes. So yeah, that's it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.